Ted, he said that practice may have been one of the best you guys have had on offense in a while. What do you make of it?
Yeah, guys have responded really well, and that's what you want. Early on to try to build some chemistry and come out and come to work. That's exactly what you want. Guys done a really good job. They've got the DNA to come back and understand the process early on in the season. So I was happy.
What did you think, Marcus? Just after rewatching the game and considering it, and kind of what happened, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, just getting to some rhythm. I mean, it's hard to be so pointed in regards to finding out exactly where one little thing, and you're so critical of yourself. You got to be careful not to be self-destructive in that time. Getting guys into a rhythm, finding out where the chemistry's at. We found that in the second half, and that's exciting to figure out where this new group, this new DNA is at with this group, and running the football and beating downhill and doing some things with our backs and getting our guys cleats in the ground. We found that little rhythm there in the second half, and so got to kind of tweak everything, and sometimes you got to change your thinking in regards to what you need to do early on and maybe get some things going. And that's been good to see, and that's anticipated early on in the season. Sometimes it's hard to see because your routine is thinking in one way, and you got to change your thinking a little bit. But it was good, and guys responded well. That second half, something really to grow in.
Sam had obviously a tough game for him. He seems like he's a good kid at flushing that and moving on. And
Yeah, really mentally tough. They're going to have games like that. They're going to have games where it's tough to get in rhythm, trying not to press, maybe try to do too much and stuff like that. I got to take more off his plate and give him some things maybe the less think of, and think that he's got to always have the reins, And I think that's going to be something we're going to easily adjust to. We got a great relationship. He's got a great connection with his guys and culture and understanding how the process and the season works. So I have no doubt that he's going to bounce back and be just.
How much does what you've seen over the first two games change game plans at all moving forward, just with your offense generally?
Yeah, I mean, always, because it's a new group. It's like, okay, where are we at? Where's the chemistry with this group at? Where do we lie? What do we really do well? What does this guy do well? What do these two guys in connection do well? What are we doing and feeling out between guys? And so each game plan is going to have its own little nuances based on the opponent and kind of where you're at. And so what personnel groupings you're in, what runs can be developed, how you get guys in rhythm, what protections are working well, things like that are all going to be part of how your evolution of your offense goes, because again, an offense isn't, to me, plays, it's players. And so what people do together. And that's a new group, and finding that chemistry, that balance, and being able to put it together with those ingredients is important.
What's your assessment?
The way you ran the ball in the second half, is that kind of what you envisioned your running game to be like heading into the season?
Yeah, I think that identity is part of what we've tried to establish here since I've been here, is running the football effectively. Understanding that can dictate the course of a game. We did that in the past season with the last group. It's part of your identity on offense. You hope to establish that. That's our brand of football. And everything comes off of that. Your play actions, your rhythm, your situational football. You're in better situations on third down. Right now we're in a third down situation we haven't been in a long time. It's too many third and longs. And so we got to be better at controlling that first and second down, maybe less aggressive from my part, which as a play caller, I'm an aggressive guy. You got to calm down and play within the sticks and get things rolling. And so I can be as much a solution to anything else.
What's your assessment on Shimon this season, even though he hasn't hauled in a catch so far?
I mean, he had a fantastic game. I mean, there's not a bunch of stat lines for blocks and double teams and wins at the line of scrimmage, unfortunately, in the media and that people can see. But he had his best game to date, probably just as physical and as aggressive and one-on-one as he's had, and maybe to have a bunch of touches, but he had an awesome game. I have no doubt that he's going to be a continued piece of our offense, both in run and pass.
I know you talk about a lot of new pieces on offense. I mean, are you surprised by the number of hiccups, so to speak, that you've seen the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, and I think that comes back to guys playing, again, together in different combinations, and then guys maybe trying to play pressing too much. Me maybe asking, hey, we can do all this, and maybe we're not ready for that yet. I mean, it's going to start with me and saying, hey, where can we simplify? Where are we at? Where can we adjust and move forward? I have no situation or questions about our guys' ability to go out and continue to be what we want them to be each week.
What did you think about the operation, especially how loud the environment was, and your cadence, and just how that's coming along with Ben?
Yeah, that is a pain in the rear place to play with that, and we saw it, and it actually got us a couple times. Really, the big time was down in their end zone, which we knew was going to be hard. You're right down in there, and places like that are hard. I mean, I played it. The last place I was at, in Oregon, was pretty. That was what we live on that stuff. At certain places, that's their brand. You're going to get 4 to 6 false starts because of your people. but that part of it does disrupt you, and we try to do our best, but you can't do that with us again. It makes it hard. So it's a great home field environment for them.
What's your assessment of the way Sam's responded to kind of the adversity he faced last week? Has come back to this week?
Great. He's been great. I don't have any questions about Sam. I think that part of the growth in year 2 of a quarterback is being able to understand that success is not linear. There's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be new people and identity and characteristics and chemistry that you're going to have to build each game, each week, each year. And I have no questions that he understands that. It's going to be able to adapt to that. And my job is to make sure I'm there right with him in lockstep, saying, hey, here's what we can do, here's what I can do, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, what can I pull off? I got Sam's the best, so I got no problems with how he's going to adjust.
His expectations of himself are so high. Sometimes is that in and of itself like be counterproductive to taking things that are more easier and opportunity-wise?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, that psychology is going to be, probably a much longer conversation, you know. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for a guy who lacks confidence. The other ways to adjust, you know. But there's a lot of conversation going on between now and every week that we can see, hey, how can we do this a little bit better? What do we need to do to get in this rhythm or this mindset to balance out things that make it more efficient?
Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.